Is it on? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the University of California's School of Social Welfare's Spring 2024 graduation. My name is Linda Burton, and I am the Dean of the School of Social Welfare. This celebration marks my last graduation in my role as your Dean. I complete my term on June 30th. This graduation is particularly special to me as it marks a walk of leading the school by faith through tumultuous times. This has not been an easy 5 years. As a school and community, we have experienced challenge after challenge in a world that is struggling to find its way. And in the midst of it, groups of people who are rendering harm and destruction to many, most of all, our children who are our future. Despite it all, every single day when I wake, I say thank God for social work in its capacity to be a beacon to light our way in reckoning with and healing the world. I am truly honored to be in the company today of our stellar class of 2024, your families and friends, and the faculty, staff, alum, and community partners of our school. You give me hope. All of you who are graduating today are nothing short of remarkable. You came here and accomplished exactly what you intended to do. What is more, you have spent a critical part of your time here operating under the myriad constraints of challenging times, and you did more than survive. You thrived. Your accomplishment is not only about you, it is a generational accomplishment, one that speaks to the strength of those before you and the promise of those who will follow you. You all are legacy builders. I see that you walk in purpose and you have the will and the knowledge to make a difference in this world. The School of Social Welfare community is proud of you. You can now truly claim those strong generational ties to Berkeley grads who have come before you and those whose shoulders you stand on. You earned it. Wear it with pride, humility, gratitude, and always with respect and caring for others. We would like to recognize that Berkeley sits on the territory of the Hooch-Young, the ancestral and unceded land of the Chochenyo, Ohlone, the successors of the historic and sovereign Verona Band of Alameda County. This land was and continues to be of great importance to the Ohlone people. We recognize every member of the Berkeley community has and continues to benefit from the use and occupation of this land since the institution's founding in 1868. Consistent with our values of community and diversity, we have a responsibility to acknowledge and make visible the university's relationship to Native peoples. By offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm Indigenous sovereignty and will work to hold the University of California, Berkeley more accountable to the needs of American Indian and Indigenous people. Now, before we begin our commencement, I would like to explain some general rules that for everyone so that we can fully enjoy the program. With this spirit in mind, I request that you please silence your cell phones, stay in your seats, and keep the aisles clear. For this event, specifically time, place, and manner policies apply that are aligned with our Berkeley principles of community. Please do not engage in any action that disrupts the event or prevents the speakers from being heard during this commencement ceremony. This includes, but is not limited to, shouting over speakers, speaking out of turn, blocking others' view of the event, disrupting official activities, and specifically displaying banners and signs that block others' views of the event. Individuals who are disruptive will be asked to leave. Thank you for understanding as we celebrate our students together. Now, please join me in welcoming our commencement speaker, Dr. Yvonnya Brown. Dr. Brown is a native of St. George, South Carolina. Dr. Brown has over 30 years in the health and human services arena, including 26 years in executive leadership at the local, regional, and state level. Currently, she serves as the Merced County Human Services Agency Director. Prior to her appointment as HSA Director, she served as the Behavioral Health and Recovery Services Director. She also serves as Senior Pastor of Walking by Faith Ministries International in Merced, California. Dr. Brown possesses a Bachelor of Social Work from Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina, and a Master's of Social Work from the University of South Carolina. In 2020, Dr. Brown obtained her doctorate in Organizational Change and Leadership from the University of Southern California. Welcome, Dr. Brown.
I extend my gratitude to Dr. Burton for the gracious introduction and the opportunity to be your keynote speaker for today. It is an esteemed gratitude I want to also extend to the faculty and staff of UC Berkeley and the graduates and family for continuing to advance the social work, social welfare practice, and educational system. I'm indebted as well to my family back in the East Coast and my friends, along with my church family who is here today for their support, encouragement, and prayers. Last but not least, as she mentioned, I'm also the senior pastor of Walking by Faith Ministries International. And I would be remiss if I don't thank my own Father God, for allowing me this opportunity to come before you and to extend and impart his wisdom, inspiration, and encouragement to the graduate class of 2024. Take a moment this is a monumental occasion, a culmination of years of hard work, dedication, relentless pursuit of knowledge. As we gather here today, I want you to reflect on what's significant about this day. You've been through, like Dr. Burton said, a lot of challenges, but also a lot of opportunities. For the graduates, I hope that your message that I give to you today will not only resonate in your heart, but also you take it as we move forward in your career as a social welfare professional. I stand before you today, humbled and honored to share this momentous occasion with you. I thought about many things I could talk about, and I want to be intentional about what I share with you and your family and the faculty here at UC Berkeley. One thing I remember, and when Dr. Burton asked me to do this, I immediately wanted to go into my meditation and reflection. I'm intentional about when I have these opportunities to speak to a large crowd or a small crowd, I want to impart my wisdom and knowledge that I have collected over 30 years in social work. So as I move forward, what resonated in my heart to speak to you about, and hopefully you will find it very relevant as you move forward in your professional career. And what I want us to remember after this, before we end this commencement ceremony, and to our future graduates who are standing here today, to our professional leaders, educators, families, and friends, I want us to remember the reason for us being here, the reason we decided to become a social worker, the reason we decided to become a professional and move forward in changing the lives. The theme that came to my mind was, remember the why. If we remember the why we decided the career path that we chose. As I mentioned before, this message is not only for the graduates, whether you're from your undergraduate or doctorate or master's degree. When you go in the field of social work, you will face many challenges. You will have any obstacles along the way, and you will begin to even question who you are as a social work professional. I'm speaking from 30-plus years in this field. I served in 5 different states, worked on a local, state, and federal level. And every opportunity I had to speak, I always tried to encourage people, it is hard, but it's also rewarding. Remembering the why is really significant. As you move forward, I want to make sure I stay within my time frame. Over 30 years, I have worked and had the honor to work in various platforms. I have also been on state and federal policy forums. Some of you will find yourself in that position to change the policy in which we know sometimes does not meet the needs of our families, our communities, or the world. I'm often asked during my 30 years, what keeps me motivated? What keeps me coming day after day, year after year, still excited about the work that we do? I want y'all to understand you have to find your why. You have to maintain that why. My reason becoming a social worker over 30 years ago was for a personal reason, my environment. I didn't really want to be a social worker. I thought I was going to be a nurse. But divine will put me in a place that I have been thriving ever since. Some of you guys may find yourself sitting in the audience today, never thought you would be in the place that you are, but you're here and you're graduating today. Often what keeps me motivated, I say to my staff and to people, I still believe in the mission and vision of our profession. Even after 30 years, I still believe we have the power to change lives. I still believe that we can transform communities. I still believe that we have the ability to change policies that oppress and marginalize people of different ethnic groups. I still believe. So I can stand here with confidence telling you I still believe, and tomorrow or Monday when I get back to work, I'm going to continue to tell my staff of 700 people, we still believe in the mission and vision of our social work values and ethics that we serve each and every day. I still believe in the power to transcend and transform the lives of individuals, families, and communities. I stress the point of believing because after 30 years, you'll start questioning. After 5 years, you'll start questioning. After 1 year, you will start questioning whether or not you are in the right place doing the right thing. And I will say to you today, yes, you are. Remember your why when things become challenging. People begin to see you as superheroes, sometimes miracle workers. And if you've been in this profession a long time, you'll understand what I mean. You are the problem solver for everybody's problems. But what I can tell you, what you are a change agent. You have the power to transform your communities, one person at a time, one community at a time, one system at a time. So you make a difference every time you get up and decide you're going to work today. Every time you decide to talk to your staff today. Every time you decide to speak in front of an audience when you're giving an opportunity. What I want to leave you with today, as I mentioned before, you will be considered for so many, the politics, from the government, from your staff, even your students, if you decide to go into the academic arena. You will have to remember your why. We all know why we joined and decided to go down this path, one reason or another. I'm emphasizing this tremendously because when you get to the place and when you're dealing with people, circumstances, and situations, It will not happen overnight. It will take time to persevere through the process of change. Change is a process, but I can tell you as the future leaders, faculties, parents, and friends, change is what is needed for this nation. Change is what is needed for this world. And you are the ones sitting in that seat that can make the change as the social workers of the future here at UC Berkeley and out in the community. In closing, graduates, take a moment to acknowledge your accomplishments. Your dedication, hard work has led you to this milestone. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can, change the world. You have that power within you to change the world, one person, one policy, one community at a time. Never let the big continue to distract you from the small things. Never take the small things for granted. You have the power to change the world, one situation, one person, one community at a time. Graduates, you have the power to inspire greatness and have a lasting impact on the world, armed with knowledge and determination. And as I go to my seat, remember that you have the power to change circumstances. Last but not least, we always have to remember people and believe that people can change. When we start believing that people can change, then I always say to myself, if I start believing that people can't change, then I know it's time for me to retire. It's time for me to retire because I went into this profession expecting people to change, have a desire for people to change. That is not only for my profession, we have that as a person. I decided this field 30 plus years ago. It chose me. And just like it chose you, remember, you are the key to people's life. We have the power to influence so many people. Don't take the power that you have. No, you're not Superwoman or Superman. Nor are you a miracle worker. But once again, you are a person that's been equipped to change the path of other individuals. Use your power of influence, your advocacy, ability to be a change agent for your community, your state, and your circle of influence. You are the power to do all these things. I want to end with this. We always have to remember the why. The reason you became a social worker. The reason why you decided to go in this field. And this is just not for the graduates, for everyone in here who may be wondering why. You know when you started from the beginning, please remember the why, because you will absolutely understand as you continue to progress in your leadership, in your journey as a professional, the why will be very important. So I hope that you understand. I hope that you accept what I have spoken to you today. But that is my message, and thank you for the opportunity to express the reason for the why.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Brown. I would now like to introduce the first of our stellar student speakers. Representing the undergraduates is Sin Gomez. Okay. Sin is a first-generation non-binary and trans-masculine student at UC Berkeley, graduating with a BA in social welfare with minors in race and the law and Spanish. Born and raised in Baldwin Park, California, Sin is the youngest of 3 siblings. At UC Berkeley, Sin has actively contributed to the campus and broader community through various leadership and advocacy roles. They have served as an election poll. They have served as an election poll worker, the vice president of external affairs for the Berkeley Student Cooperative, a student worker, the ASUC External Affairs Vice President's Organizing Director, and the University Equity and Inclusion Director for the Tangible Movement, a nonprofit organization. Wow. Beyond their academic and professional endeavors, Sin is passionate about reading, public speaking, and nurturing social connections. Their advocacy extends to the importance of mental health, human rights, social justice, and collective liberation. Sin aspires to leverage their experiences and insights into a career that bridges policy and community organizing. With ambitions of being a lawyer and continuing as a community organizer, they aim to enact meaningful change by dismantling systems that perpetuate historic traumas and ensuring the rights and dignity of marginalized communities. Sin's life goals is to make a lasting impact through community organizing, policy reform, and a relentless pursuit of equity and justice.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Sin Macias Gomez. I'm a first-generation queer and trans disabled Latina student, and I'm honored to be speaking with y'all at this very pivotal time of our lives. As students who have chosen to pursue social welfare and social work as a profession, we truly are the folks who understand the hard work that goes into taking care of your community or those around you. But what is hard work? Hard work, as defined by Tanaya Winder, is your purpose combined with passion. It's taking whatever your heart has been charged with and committing to do the necessary work to honor your spirit. Practicing hard work is to honor your purpose through empathy, compassion, respect, reciprocity, and love. Practicing hard work is not always easy. It can be hard work, but it is always worth it. Hard work is a commitment to healing yourself, your family, your loved ones, your community, and your ancestors. Hard work has guided me to various ways of engaging in advocacy and organizing for the struggles we're facing globally, nationally, and locally. I've been able to testify to the state of California for the essentialness of adequate disabled student services across California and share how important it is to have critical, affordable housing and cooperative land stewardship for the place that I call home, the Berkeley Student Cooperative. At large, the field of social work requires constant nurturing, self-critique, and collective accountability to empower people to be advocates for their own well-being. Those who are in this field of study are some of the kindest and most thoughtful people I've met at Cal. And to zoom out of our social welfare community, I cannot ignore the fact that today is Nakba Day. Nakba Day is the commemoration of the Nakba, also known as the Palestinian catastrophe, which was the destruction of Palestinian society and homeland in 1948 and the permanent displacement of a majority of Palestinian people. Between 750,000 and 1 million Palestinians were expelled from their homeland and made refugees by Zionist militias and the new Israeli army during Israel's establishment, amounting to over 75% of all Palestinians. Before the Nakba, Palestine was a multi-ethnic and multicultural society. As we stand in the space directly across from where our encampment stood, now moved to Anna Head, I would also like for us to think about what our commitment as social workers look like for the genuine liberation of all oppressed people. Thank you. Our profession calls on us to uphold principles of justice and dignity and worth of a person. We cannot look away from the moment in which we find ourselves. How will we manifest the principles of social work for the cause of liberation for all oppressed people of the world? As of today, over 35,000 Palestinians have lost their lives. All 12 universities in Gaza have been destroyed. Over 250 teachers and 5,000 students have been killed. The only safe zone of Rafah has been under constant attack, and the Israeli government is by definition committing crimes against humanity. These are acts committed as a part of a widespread or systematic direct attack against any civilian population as defined by the United Nations. In this instance, we're seeing it with the Palestinian people. How will we use our skills and knowledge for the divestment and recognition of irreparable harm done as social workers? As we identify what our respective roles are in this movement for liberation, I want to share a bit of what I learned as an intern at the Multicultural Community Center, specifically on a loving work ethic. In the words of Bell Hooks, the beauty of adopting a loving work ethic is that it empowers us to transcend fear, which is often serving as a tool to uphold systems of control and dominance. Love combats isolation by fostering connection and facilitating greater understanding, both of which are powerful antidotes to fear. The journey ahead of us is not one without fear, as we push back against systems of violence and declare that we won't stand for this. We must channel the love we have for our communities. We must channel the love we have and the dreams we have of a better future, and the love we have for each other in this extremely challenging profession we find ourselves. If we understand that we must honor our hard work and do so from a loving work ethic, I believe that we are an unstoppable force for collective liberation. But it takes commitment to manifest this love into action, and I truly believe that the struggle is worth it. We have a duty to ensure that the next 7 generations have a better world than we found it. I am deeply proud of all of us for getting to this point in our academic careers. Let us reap the fruits of our labor for the collective liberation of all people. Congratulations, everyone. Free Palestine, free People's Park, free the Congo, and all power to the people.
Thank you so much, Sin. We now welcome Nick Matos, who is representing our master's students. Nick is a first-generation college graduate whose work centers on providing effective, evidence-based interventions for clients experiencing severe mental illness. To supplement his practicum work during his MSW program, Nick also served as a clinical research assistant with the Golden Bear Sleep and Mood Research Clinic and as a project director for the UC Berkeley Graduate Assembly Sexual Orientation and Gender Advocacy Project. He was a recipient of the CalSWEC Public Behavioral Health Training Program stipend, as well as the Wurtzel Family Graduate Fellowship in Social Welfare for the 2023-2024 academic year. A graduate of the Evergreen State College, Nick is a member of the International Cultic Studies Association and is honored to serve as an incoming board member with the San Francisco Bay Area chapter of the Association for Cultural Behavior Science. Nick?
Thank you, Dr. Esteemed faculty and beloved friends, oh my gosh, we made it. Whoa. I am so moved with a deep sense of gratitude that I get to be here with you today, because honestly, I think our lives get so wild and so intense that we often don't notice when we are walking through doors that we prayed would open. And here we are, as it happens. And I'll be straight up with you, this has been the most magical 2 years of my life, even if this mic stand won't work for me. It has been so hard. It has been so hard, and it has been so beautiful. And it has been so hard for reasons outside of school, but it's been so beautiful because of y'all. So first, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the faculty and staff of the School of Social Welfare, right here. Your guidance, support, humor, and skillful navigation of challenging systems have shown all of us how to navigate the challenges and triumphs of this field with grace and resilience. I specifically want to name 2 faculty who have changed my life. Dr. Patty Park and Dr. Erin Carrison. I will be unpacking the impact that you have had upon me for the rest of my life from the bottom of my heart. Thank you both so, so much. And now to my fellow graduates, we did it, Joe! I am so humbled and so honored to stand with you today and celebrate this momentous achievement. We all come from such diverse backgrounds. We have so many different things that motivated us to be part of this field, but we are all united by a common purpose, which is to serve others with compassion, integrity, and empathy, and to look good while we do it and have a damn good time while we do it too. So, my sweet MSWs, look around you. Look at these gorgeous, loving, hilarious, fabulous geniuses that you got to know in these last 2 years. How much hope does it give you to know that there are people like this in the world doing the sort of work that we are doing? How much did we get to learn just from being in one another's presence? I mean, right? Oh my gosh, really? And here's the thing, is like VP Harris said, we did not just fall out of a coconut tree. So are there any other social workers here tonight? Make some noise, come on. Yeah. Okay, any social workers who are graduates of this MSW program by chance? Yes, exactly. You know, we exist as social workers in the context of all which we live and all that came before us, right? Well, here, let me put it another way. I think of the way that starlings murmurate when they fly. Have you all seen this? Okay, we got a couple murmuration fans in the house, at least. Okay, so it's amazing. It is when the flock takes to the sky right before dusk, and they fly around in this dynamic, ever-changing formation. It is such an amazing activity and behavior, because in this behavior, what they're doing is keeping one another safe, they're keeping one another warm, and most fascinatingly, they are sharing information about resources and where resources can be found in the environment. It is so amazing, and because when the starlings are doing this, they are becoming part of something much bigger than themselves. They're responding to something that is deep within each of them, but also to things that are around them in the environment too. It is so beautiful, and it is beautiful in a lot of the same way that we as social workers respond to the interdependence of our lives and our communities in this way. We are responding to something that is deep within us, but also that is all around us at the same time, and responding to how things are, but also how things could be. And I'm just gonna be frank with all of y'all. I see this, and I see this with awe, but I also see this with awe's sister, fear. I see the immensity of this interdependence, the web of connection that weaves together this moment that we are all in right now, and everything that came before us and everything that's going to come after us. The connection that weaves together the clinical room and the halls of power, the living rooms and the streets, and the scale and the urgency of the work that we have to do as social workers overwhelms me. It is beautiful and it is brutal, and I feel really small sometimes. Factually, I am really small, sitting at the edge of this web of interconnection, looking out at it. And I feel this when I'm sitting in front of my clients, in front of all of their pain and their majesty. I see this when I think about the work of facing the level of injustice that we face every day in this society. And when I am in my wise mind, sometimes I think of the lines of the poem The Summer Day by Mary Oliver, and specifically these lines. I don't know what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down in the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else is it that I should have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? So please, my friends, my fellow graduates, we are walking through a door that we once prayed would open. And as we fly over the threshold of new beginnings, may we murmurate. May we let ourselves be moved by the immensity of this work and the wild, precious thing that it is to be alive. May we feel all of the awe and all of the fear that comes from seeing ourselves and the world as we are in this moment. And may we be brave enough to see ourselves and this world as we can be. And may we do all of our work blessed with the wisdom of our ancestors, the courage of our convictions, and the love that moves within and all around each of us. In the words of the incomparably fabulous Audre Lorde, when I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I am afraid. I see this daring power, this service of the greater good, in the actions of the students here at Berkeley and at universities worldwide encamped on their campuses for the cause of a free Palestine. I see this in the work of my colleagues in the Graduate Assembly and the Associated Students of the University of California when they passed historic resolutions this year upholding a commitment to boycott and divest from companies that profit off the occupation of Palestinian land. And I see this in my many, many colleagues here in this MSW program, in this School of Social Welfare, and in the full global field of social welfare who know in their bones that this is the work of the times, who see in this wild and precious life that agitating for a ceasefire is the bare minimum, and that working for a free Palestine is social work praxis in action. My sweet friends, I love you so much. I hope you know that, and I hope you feel that, and that you carry it with you. I know that you love one another. Know that and carry it with you too. Congratulations on this momentous achievement. Let us embody Audre Lorde's words as we embark on this next chapter of our journey, embracing our strength in the service of effecting change, caring for ourselves and for one another, challenging injustice everywhere we see it, every time we see it, and creating a world that is more just, more equitable, and more compassionate for all beings everywhere. Thank you so much. Blessed be.
Our final student speaker is Damon Hill Jr., one of our graduating doctoral students. Damon's research focuses on the mental and emotional well-being of Black children and youth, their families, and communities. Utilizing critical theories and humanizing research methods, his research also focuses on designing public spaces and places of human flourishing, with a focus on creating culturally relevant therapeutic environments that promote healing and holistic wellness. As a community-based scholar and mental health practitioner, he is unapologetically committed to collectively creating a liberatory world. Damon has accepted a position as a postdoctoral scholar at the University of Chicago starting in fall 2024. Please welcome Damon.
What it do? Let me take these off because I might end up crying. Who gonna hold me if I cry? We got a room full of people that gonna hold me if I cry? Thank you. Woo. The title of this little speech that came from somewhere within, I struggled, truly, Susan, I struggled. It's called "And in the Meantime, in Between Time" type of love. Y'all, are we dreaming? Because my inner child is screaming. With love bubbling within my soul, this love requires me to name the state of the world. As we sit in this room, thousands and counting of Palestinian children are caught between a gruesome and bloody conflict. Their playfulness, their joy, their laughs, their smiles and dreams deferred. They say liberation is hard, and I agree. They say liberation requires some real patience, and trust me, I believe. So this love that bubbles within requires me to dream of what to do in the meantime and between time. For me, it is to love radically. As you experience this shared existence as we sit in this room, there is shared fear, shared anxieties, and shared worries. In these sharings, there is a reckoning. You can see, feel, communicate the realities of living on the margins. This empowers marginalized folks to respond to the effects of their marginalization, to transform the unlivable moments into livable moments through love. In the meantime, in between time, is the underground railroad. Trans youth housing each other, loving on each other. Children imagining themselves as superheroes jumping off of swings. A letter to an incarcerated family member simply saying, "I love you." A warm hug from your grandmother. "Thank you, Grandma." And the ladies in the community handing out food. It is necessary. Oftentimes unpopular, oftentimes unseen, but most importantly, essential. It is the past, present, and future. It is radically love. Radical love isn't just a fleeting emotion or a sentiment. It's a revolutionary act, a commitment to honoring our collective liberation. If a radical love bubbles within you, allow that love to manifest into action and transformational and liberatory change. A radical form of love transcends boundaries, runs through barriers, and builds foundation for profound healing. Radical love is contagious. It's defiance against oppression injustice, and hatred. It is pure refusal to acceptance of the suffering of others. Instead, it is an unwavering commitment to standing in solidarity with the marginalized and advocating for pure liberation. But radical love isn't just about an outward act. It starts within. A journey of self-discovery and self-compassion. It requires us to confront our anxieties, our worries, insecurities, and embrace ourselves with grace and care. No matter how disconnected the world may seem, we are connected. We cultivate empathy, compassion, joy, and belonging by recognizing our interconnectedness. Again, radical love isn't without its challenges. It requires us to confront our privilege and acknowledge the ways we've benefited from systems of oppression. It's asked us to be engaged. So, how do we cultivate radical love in our lives? Importantly, how do we love our inner child? Within each of us resides a younger version full of innocence, curiosity, and boundless imagination. Our inner child represents the essence of who we truly are before the world taught us otherwise, and specifically doubt and fear. Yet amidst adult responsibilities, the societal pressures, the bills, we often neglect this precious part of ourselves. Reconnecting with and loving our inner child can unlock a life of joy, fulfillment, and authenticity. It means honoring our old dreams, our old passions, our old intuitions, and forgiving ourselves. It's a journey I am currently on and forever will be on. While on this journey, I am reminded that my behaviors and those of others are simply an attempt to protect, care for, and love the child in ways within me that was not loved outwardly by others. When we love our inner child, we become more compassionate. When we love and we learn to love, to approach life with curiosity and courage, we are able to celebrate the beauty of simply just being here. This journey begins with awareness of our inner child, continues with remembrance of former inner childs, self-care, and grace. But most importantly, deepening our embrace of the possibilities of belonging. Lastly, y'all, this essay is for those often unseen who deserve to be seen as the authors of strength, beauty, and joy. This paper honors and cherishes those here and those no longer here with us in the flesh. As we navigate the complexities of our world, may we remember the radical love born from the depths of our being. It is merely a concept to ponder, but a call to action to uplift the marginalized, those challenging injustices, and those cultivating healing and transformation. In loving our inner child, we embark on self-discovery and connection. This journey reminds us of our inherent worthiness and capacity to create spaces of joy and belonging. So let us embrace this journey with our hearts open, knowing that in honoring our inner child, we nurture ourselves, we sow those seeds, and we become more compassionate, and we create a more equitable world. Thank you.
Thank you, Damon, Nick, and Sin, for representing your classmates so well. Now our Associate Dean, Susan Stone, will join me in acknowledging our Academic and Achievement Award recipients. Susan?
Obviously, among all the strengths we've seen in our student community, it's hard to call out just a few for their achievements, and I will. I will first start with the undergraduate awards. I first want to recognize Nathan Navejas. He is being awarded the James Midgley Leadership Award. Nathan, please stand if you haven't already. Okay. Nathan has demonstrated a commitment to helping serve underrepresented individuals both on and off campus, advocating on behalf of marginalized community needs, and making resources and systems more aligned with diversity, equity, and inclusion principles. Yay! The Social Welfare Community Service Award goes to Connie Sochil Robledo. During the last 6 years, Connie has made significant contributions to the lives of former foster youth transitioning into adulthood. She has served as a mentor to foster youth, helping them with a wide variety of resources, such as housing, food, clothing, diapers, childcare, job skills, as well as others. Congratulations. Finally, the Social Welfare Dean's Award for Academic Achievement is awarded to Viola Binkin Chen and Sarah Turobiner. Viola and Sarah are graduating social welfare students who, in the opinion of the faculty, have achieved the greatest degree of academic performance among our student body. I now turn to the MSW awards. And Evelyn, I'd like to call Evelyn Arroyo Gonzalez to Evelyn is receiving the Excellence in Social Work Practice Award because of her wisdom, thoughtfulness, and patient-centered skills at her internship at Napa State Hospital. They're working with with individuals who are often marginalized with the most serious and chronic and persistent mental health challenges. She has found a way to be exceptionally effective in a challenging and often dangerous environment. Congratulations. The Ralph M. Kramer Award for Outstanding Strengthening Organizations and Community Students goes to Jillian De La Torre and Emily Downey. Jillian's work last year with the People's Park provided crucial information for helping the transition of the park occupants. This year, her efforts have landed her a leadership position with Healthy Contra Costa upon graduation. Emily is hardworking, intelligent, and committed to doing impactful work in the macro social work arena, as well as an outstanding student. Her leadership role in developing and launching a mixed methods studies with BSW and MSW students and alumni on their perceptions of county placements and employment is of tremendous interest and value to county partners. The Dean's Award for Social Justice is awarded to Ms. Jules Means. Ms. Jules Means embodies the knowledge, values, skills that portend a rich and impactful future career in social work. She actualizes the stance of a humble learner, a stance critical to advancing socially just practice. The awards for outstanding capstone projects go to Hannah Dolhai, Sheila Godes, and Tori Pena. While Hannah is not in attendance, her capstone project is a process evaluation plan for CFRI's counseling support program. Sheila Godes' capstone is a proposal to evaluate the UCSF Pediatric Dentistry Autism Program using a novel quasi-experimental design with propensity score matching. Sheila's evaluation goes above and beyond the capstone requirements and exemplifies the outstanding work of UC Berkeley's MSW students. Tori Pena's capstone, a process evaluation for Beyond Violence, demonstrates how she integrated knowledge from other courses across the social work master's program by attending to trauma-informed care and culturally appropriate practices. Her commitment to improving social welfare practice is evident and notable. Turning to the PhD student awards, the James and Khadija Midgley Dissertation Award goes to Nahal Eldib. Nahal's dissertation employs a mixed methods approach to explore parent preferences in seeking information online, building upon her previous work that developed a comprehensive framework for parent engagement. Her research, academic excellence, and strengths as an instructor highlight her intellectual curiosity and position her to make significant contributions to advancing parenting programs and social progress within the field. And last but not least, our outstanding GSI, or Graduate Student Instructor Award, goes to Tiffany Luo. Tiffany. Yay. Tiffany already is an accomplished instructor, who is consistently warm, responsive, and student-centered in her teaching. She's made notable efforts in Social Welfare 110, 200, and 282B. Thank you. Yay, congratulations to the winners. And I will turn it back to our dean.
Okay. Now, as we prepare for the conferral of degrees, we ask that our BASW and MSW award recipients join their peers in the student seating section off stage. Please join me again in congratulating our award winners. So you can join your. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Social Welfare please stand at your seats? Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Social Welfare, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the President of the University of California and the Chancellor, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Social Welfare, with all privileges and prerequisites thereto pertaining. Please now move your tassels from right to left side. Students, beginning with the first row, please line up single file by the right side of the stage. And please take a seat once receiving your scroll. Dr. Jill Barrick, Distinguished Professor and the Zellerbach Family Foundation Professor of Social Welfare, will now read the names of our graduating BASW students.
To see you. Sin Macias Gomez. Noah Lee. Elizabeth Banuelos. Jessica Ramos. Esmeralda Michelle. Anna Fitch. Javiera Casada. Tsing Miller. Tia Lum. Arwa Mohammed. Isabella Perez. Avery Fisher Blackwell. Jasmine Amada Esquivel. Sarah Turlbiner. Viola Binkin Chen. Connie Sochi Robledo.
Thank you so much.
Nathan Navejas.
Thank you.
Nelson Kielin Chang. Sarah Majubi. Elizabeth Phillip. Ella Basing. Flynn Dressel. Grace Cyberling. Leilani Nicole Porak. Nina Hill. Aya Nahas. Crystal Swan. Daniela Placencia Delgado. Spring Victoria Kasupa. Susana Duran. Wendy Ramirez. Very festive. Madison and Wyland. Hannah Kaplan. Kimi Pantoja. Isaiah Gallegos. Leilani Tahimoa Cortez. Cynthia Sanchez Diaz. Jennifer Chacon Duran. Marlo Ornelas O'Neill. Cristina Mendez. Tanya Norzagaray. Zoe Sindhu More. Angèle Olive Baget. Haley Ross. Liana Ramon Carvillo. Lucia Boadas Peña. Karen Sarai Juarez. Sarah Emilia Guevara. Hang Jade Nyo. Michelle Santiago Nunez. Mialena Porras. Faustina Odio Dalit. Jessica Lapurga. Vanessa May Viegas. Jarif Mahmoud. Andrew Shelton. Montserrat Gonzalez Jimenez. Rosalind Castillo. Poor baby. Oh, poor baby. Milagro Lerubima Ramirez Barrera. Neha Sharma. Ana Maria Alfaro Mendoza.
Okay. Let's give a round of applause to our BASW students once more. Now it is time for our MSW students. Okay. I'm going to ask the students to stand, the MSW students. Okay. And before you start making your way up to the stage, I ask that you turn to your classmate at the right and hood them. Lecturer Evelyn Chang will read your names. Evelyn? Oh, she's already read. Please make your way single file onto the right of the stage, which is my left.
Dolores Vega. Luke Fleming. Joy Eileen Robinson. Sarah Lynn Gardner Hart. Daria Sufi.
Congratulations.
Okay, you need a moment? Okay, ready? Okay. Richard Rodriguez Leon. Kimberly Arce. Melina Machuca. Anna Tao Ân Nguyen. Ana Bianca Rivera. Socorro Ramírez Camino. Emerald Chavez. Natalie Karina Gracian Lopez. Camille Grogan.
Congratulations.
Ciade Gizacho. Annabelle Cole. Patricia Ann Manubai. Evelyn Arroyo Gonzalez. Cleo Wild. Marissa Weinstock. Sasha Zients. Gina Tota. Manpreet Singh. Mia Castillo. Jency Umana Linares. Steve Vilka. Carla Joanna Artiga Gomez. Julie Gracian, MPH, MSc.
I know that's right. Oh, look at you.
Sylvia Jin, MPH. Ellie Linares. Tisa Ambrosino. Wenmao Ji.
Thank you so much for everything. Thank you.
Nick Matos. Aaron Tam. Katie Marie Souza. Olivia Tom. Elise McGloin. Sharon Lebenkoff. Michael Dine. Trinity Morton.
You too.
Lena Ray Thaler. Sophie Reef. May Maroney.
You're so welcome.
Sophia Muston. Charlotte Moxley. Ms. Jules Patrice Means. Aldeja Green. Sophia Guo. Lily Lilia Xie. Ann Lester. Noria Williams. Gina Niceforo. Lacey Cano. Emily Downey. Margaret Lee. Caitlin Burnham. Darrell Baca. Cyan Serena Lai Suspilla. Taylor Fun. Samantha Louise Bonilla. Jason Herbert. Anthony Matriciani. Taylor Ray Washington. Miriam Vasquez Mazaniegos. Lydia Cleveland. Samantha Alvarez. Alyssa Evans. Elizabeth Calabresi. Winter Sierra. Laura Trost.
Thank you.
So good to see you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Kiane.
Mitchell Herrera Kiane.
Barty. Yes, Jade Mariel Barty.
Jade Marielle Barty. Kalechi Okwando. Jillian De La Torre. Victoria Peña. Sheila Goads.
Let us give a round of applause to our MSW students, our graduates. Thank you. Doctoral candidates, please rise as you are able. Yes? Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Social Welfare. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the President of the University of California and the Chancellor, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Social Welfare, with all privileges and prerequisites thereto pertaining. I would now like to invite Associate Professor Tina Sachs, as well as our faculty dissertation advisors to the stage.
Okay.
Congratulations to our doctoral students on completing their outstanding dissertations. I'm so honored to be standing here and to be with you all tonight. I would like to go over there. I think. Demond Hill. Valentin Quiroz Sierra. Nihel Eldib. Sergio Martinez. Chen Ren. Douglas Epps.
And before we move to the final steps of our ceremony, I would also like to acknowledge the commencement of our dean as she transitions out of her 5-year term. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. So, congratulations to the class of 2024. And welcome to the UC Berkeley School of Social Welfare alumni community. Okay. We have reached the conclusion of our commencement ceremony, and I would like to end with something my family often does after we have spent quality time together and are going to separate parts of the world to do our own social justice thing. I have 4 adult children, a son-in-law, and a daughter-in-law who are all off the payroll now, and 7 grandchildren who can just look at me and get absolutely anything that they want. We are a social justice family with a mission to contribute to uplifting others in areas of health, education, and economic disparities, the tech world, and the arts. When we're together, we always, before we part, we lift our heads to the sky. And in the spirit of giving and caring, we wish each other abundance. As I look to you, the grads and your families and friends, I wish you abundance too. We ask our audience to please remain seated until the graduates have processed out of the theater. Please join us for light refreshments outside. Thank you so very much.